30 years ago, we got a live-action Mario movie. It did not do well. I rewatched it last year, and yeah, not a fan of it at all. It took them 30 years to make another Mario movie. This time, Nintendo is watching over production. They are approving a bunch of stuff, making sure it is not as bad as the live action movie. This time it is animated, which obviously seems like the right step for this type of film, and it is made by Illumination, which I don't think is the right step for this type of film. I have seen a handful of Illumination movies, and I would say not really a big fan of their stuff. I'm not crazy about their character designs. I'm not crazy just about how usually their films look. I always get the idea that they put the idea of the actors they want first, and then they decide what designs are we going to do for the characters, what's the story going to be. That's at least how it feels to me. And at first, it certainly felt like this Mario movie was going in that direction. They obviously made the announcement maybe a year ago about all of the actors that were going to be voicing these iconic characters, and we were all kind of like, oh god, this is not going well. And then I saw the trailer. I have to say I was not like wowed or anything, but I was like, there's potential. Once I saw the posters that were not just relying on Chris Pratt as Mario or Jack Black as Bowser. They didn't have any posters like that. I thought the marketing was really good, so I was thinking, hey, this might actually be a pretty good movie. Plus, Aaron Horvath is one of the directors, and he is the director of the Teen Titans Go movie. He's involved with that show. I didn't really watch the show, but I did like that movie. I thought that was fun. So I think there were good things going into this film. It seemed a little bit promising, but turns out it was just okay. Now, this is a tight, maybe too tight 92-minute movie. It's a fast-paced movie, but that's because things happen and then the movie never gives us a moment to enhance the storytelling or develop characters or even scenes. For instance, when Mario and Toad meet, it is pretty much what you see in the trailer. They meet, Mario tells Toad, hey, I need to look for my brother, and then Toad says, we gotta go to Peach's castle, and then they go. That is pretty much it. The thing about a scene like this is that it is supposed to establish the relationship and dynamic between Toad and Mario, and it's hardly anything. Later on, Toad calls Mario his best friend, but I never once bought that at all. If there was just like one more scene when they meet and there's a bit more humor and camaraderie, then that would add more development between them two. That is just one example. There's a lot of other scenes that I could go into. Part of the reason why I think that the story is so thin is partly because it relies on a lot of Easter eggs. A lot of it didn't bother me. However, you are sacrificing development, story for these Easter eggs. Even the score is just themes from Mario games. And yes, that is exactly what I was expecting. I didn't hate the score because I like the themes and melodies from these Mario games, but I mean, it is essentially composer Brian Tyler just splicing in the melodies whenever he thinks it fits. Sometimes he does stuff a little bit more creatively, like he's using sound effects for beats and rhythms sometimes, but again, it's a bit more nostalgic than original, I would say. So yeah, the Easter eggs can make it a little bit distracting and take away for me to care a little bit more about the characters or the story. What makes it even harder to care is that aside from Jack Black, the voice acting isn't that great. Jack Black is great as Bowser. When they announced the cast, I think that was really the only actor all of us were thinking, yes, that is a good choice for Bowser. And I think he does pretty well. Just like everyone else, I was baffled at the choice of casting Chris Pratt as Mario. Then I remembered Chris Pratt as Emmett in the Lego movie, and I thought he was fantastic for that. Then I remembered he voiced Barley in Onward, and I thought he was fantastic in that as well. I just had a feeling in my gut that Pratt would be good as Mario. And I have to say, he may not be remarkable in this movie at all, but it could have been worse. Some people are upset about him doing a Brooklyn accent. I really didn't have a problem with that. The crazy thing is, Chris Pratt does an Italian accent in the beginning of the movie, and it's pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, he decided to do a Brooklyn accent since that's where Mario and Luigi live. I Totally get it. I just wish he was bigger throughout the entire performance. I really felt a lack of energy from him in this movie, really from a lot of people, but that also might have to do with the story too. However, for Mario, I definitely thought of times where it could have been more, could have been bigger. Charlie Day as Luigi is okay. He's actually kind of the damsel in distress and not Peach. Luigi just doesn't have a lot going on. He's pretty much just locked up once he enters the Mushroom Kingdom. I didn't really have any problems with Anya Taylor-Joy as Peach either, even though the script doesn't give a lot for Joy to do as Peach. I think Peach was not a bad character. She is definitely not the damsel in distress type of character that the original video games do. Seth Rogen is Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong in this movie. He might be a little bit more upbeat than some of his other voice acting roles that he has done. It's not a bad fit for Donkey Kong, honestly. I'm not really crazy about that design though. There's just something off. I think it has something to do with his face or the mouth. Keegan-Michael Key does not have a lot to offer as Toad. I don't really think that's his fault though. Again, the story hardly gives him anything. In fact, Toad is completely useless in this movie other than taking Mario to Peach's castle. Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong was interesting. It really sounded like Fred Armisen was doing a Bernie Sanders impression. So that's all I have to say about that. So yeah, even though I think the voice acting and the story aren't the movie's strongest features, I still thought it looked good. What helps though is that the movie is visually good to look at. The colors really pop. I'm never visually bored. I thought the action wasn't that bad. It's never trying to do anything challenging, but if it's like the training scene or the Mario Kart scene, or even when Mario and Donkey Kong are fighting, I thought they were well done. It seems like those scenes were a little bit more focused on than anything else. Before I get to my conclusion, I feel like we need to make animated movies stop relying so much on pop songs. Again, I feel like Illumination is the biggest culprit. They just play so many pop songs that I feel like didn't fit, except for Beastie Boys' No Sleep Till Brooklyn. That's the only time where I felt like it fit the movie. Just put in more original music or something. You don't need to play Take On Me or I Need a Hero. I think the movie did its job. It got most of the fans happy, and even though it's a very thin and competent story, I think it understands the core ideas of the Mario games. It's challenging to make Mario have emotions and character arcs and development. I guess they somewhat pulled it off because Mario does have an arc in this movie. The action is nice, it's colorful to look at. I didn't really have any problems with the character designs, minus Donkey Kong. That was just the weirdest one to me. The voice acting could have been improved on. I wouldn't say that they are miscast, but it feels like that they didn't care enough while filming, except for Jack Black. Sounds like he had a blast. They did give him the funniest role also in the movie, so I could see why Jack Black might have had the most fun. I just needed more from this movie in general. I needed more development from characters. I needed more story, which is weird to say because usually I'm like, give us 90-minute movies, but this one just was way too thin. I wish the characters had more interactions and more distinct personalities. I needed more of that and less Easter eggs. Even though it doesn't entirely take me out of the movie, but it does take away some of the storytelling because that's a little bit of the focus. So yeah, it's an okay movie that I will probably never see again. There was potential for this movie to be great. There's potential for the next one to be great. There's just so many things they could do. Right now, I am gonna give the Mario movie a 2.5 out of 5. Thank you so much for watching this. Did you see the Mario movie? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know down below. Are you a fan of the Mario games? What's your favorite Mario video game? Who do you want to see in the next Mario movie? Please like, comment, subscribe, share your thoughts with me. What Nintendo franchise you want to see next? Make sure you exercise every day, drink your milk, and have a great day.